Vatican police have arrested Gianluigi Torzi, an Italian businessman involved in a controversial London real estate deal. Torzi was arrested and questioned by Holy See police on Friday. He is charged with suspicion of extortion, fraud, and money laundering. He faces up to 12 years in prison. It is the first arrest in a nearly year-long investigation into the deal. Andrea Gagliarducci, Vatican Analyst for EWTN News, joins us now from Rome. Andrea, welcome back. So what can you tell us about this businessman and how was he involved in Vatican finances?
Well, Gianluigi Torzi is an Italian broker that lives in London, and he was hired by the Holy See to pay off, to buy shares of an estate property in London in Sloane Avenue. So the Holy See, the Secretary of State, had bought these shares of the building from a society, and they wanted to transition from that society to another society that was totally owned by the Holy See, and they hired Gianluigi Torzi. It seems that Torzi used some extortion to get more money from the Holy See, but this is something they're investigating now.
Andrea, for those who may not be familiar, can you please remind us what this London real estate case is about?
Yeah, the Secretary of State decided back in 2013 to buy a building in London, a building in Sloane Avenue. It was a former building owned by the Harrods magazines, and they tried to buy it, and they bought shares with an intermediary that was the Italian Mincione. Then at one point they made the decision to get out of the business with Mincione and to buy the whole building before they were just shares. And so they hired this other guy, Gianluigi Torzi, that was arrested now in the Vatican, and they tried to make the transition. Actually, even Torzi's conditions were unfair for the Holy See, so the Holy See in the end made the decision to cut all the intermediaries and try to make their own business with the building because it was a good investment. So it was a way to protect the Holy See, the investment of the Secretary of State, and at the same time to cut the intermediaries. This was back in 2018. The investigation started in 2019 when the Secretary of State asked to the so-called Vatican Bank, the Institute for Religious Works, a loan to pay off all the shares they had of the building to finalize the purchase. And there you are, just reported that to the Vatican prosecutor, and the Vatican prosecutor started investigations that led to the suspensions of 5 officials of the Holy See, and we're still under investigation now. So this arrest is part of the investigation. There are no charges yet. There is not a trial yet, just investigation.
Andrea, we don't have much time, but I'm curious, is this the first time that the Vatican has ever arrested someone? And also, what's next?
Well, it's not the first time the Vatican arrested someone. We should remember the Vatileaks scandal, first with Paolo Gabriele, the Pope Butler, that was arrested and was also imprisoned in the Vatican. There is a small apartment that is used also as a sort of prison. Then there were arrests back in 2015 in the other Vatileaks case. So it's not the first time. Now we have to wait how the investigation will go. Torzi has charges of extortion, but actually also had a contract with the Holy See, and perhaps the Secretary of State made the decision just to negotiate. We don't know how the investigation will go. We know that there will be other interrogatories, and we'll see when the trial will be set up, which the allegations will be.
Well, Andrea, thank you so much. Andrea Gagliarducci, Vatican Analyst for EWTN News. Thanks again.
Thank you, Tracy.